The Telesto mystery has been brewing for a few days now with some puzzling results. Yesterday, upon logging in, we got a message on day 2 that said Telesto 28 times. Now this video you're watching right now I made yesterday, so today's reset might yield some further information on this mini event, but today we're going to analyze bits from the lore of Telesto and other items that may be relaying a secret message to us about the future. If you are unaware of this Telesto community secret that's going on, check out this video here. Basically, with Tuesday's update, Telesto now has an alternate firing mode. When you first equip it, the thing is damaged and sparking, the bolts flying upwards when you fire until you hold down that reload button, which jams the thing back into place and it fires like normal. Also updated recently was Telesto's inspect page with a couple of other weapons. At the top left, we can now see the foundry that created this weapon in Cassoid. Cassoid weapons were very common in Destiny 1's Arms Day mechanics, and the symbol was even added to some other Destiny 2 weapons like Ariana's Vow and Dead Messenger. This could have just been to showcase who created the weapons, or maybe it has more meaning to it. I personally doubt that. Theory crafters have been working hard at figuring out what this could all mean. Meanwhile, Destiny the game on Twitter and Cosmo, one of the community managers, have mentioned that this is not some giant puzzle, just that something weird is going on and Telesto is taking over. Now, as we always dive through the lore and the story, could this mean anything there? This could just be another crazy theory, but let's first take a look at Telesto's lore card. Vestiges of the Queen's Harbingers yet linger among Saturn's moons. Telesto's lore is a message from Paladin Rior to Petra Venge. In the lines we see a discussion about Aldrin Sov, if they should negotiate with him. Keep in mind, this card was released back around Curse of Osiris and before the Forsaken expansion released where Aldrin killed Cade. Hidden in Telesto's entry, the first letter of each word was a secret message, reading Crow Untrustworthy desires power. So the main body of the lore here doesn't seem to help us with recent Telesto revelations, but the flavor text says that vestiges or traces of the Harbingers still linger among Saturn's moons. If you are new, you may be asking, what the heck is a Harbinger? Well, a Harbinger is a super weapon used by the AWOKEN. They have some intelligence of their own, these creatures, and can communicate with the Queen and her Techians who have control over them. There are 7 known to exist. These super machines were first deployed during the Reef Wars on the Fallen and several asteroids to kill many of their forces. The most notable use of the Harbingers, though, would actually come much later in the Taken King expansion at the Battle of Saturn. The Queen would unleash these Harbingers on the Dreadnought in hopes it would stall or stop Oryx's advance. It didn't, and Mara died, went to her throne world, and you know the rest of that story. After that moment, one Harbinger is known to exist, and Mara is the only one to know its location. So why are we bringing up the Harbingers? Well, Telesto might have been created from this, maybe that's why it hints at it in its own lore card, but some have also pointed out that the bolts that fire in this new version of Telesto appear to draw similarities to the super weapons, the Harbingers themselves, like in that Taken King cutscene. In Season of the Lost, during Savathun's ritual, the Techians and Mara did the same sort of summoning ritual they did during the Taken King. I'm unsure if they were trying to summon a Harbinger or use it here, or if they were doing some different magic ritual to achieve this, but it's interesting to note how the Awoken work. Of course, this all seems just to be poking some fun at Telesto and how it's messed up so many times in the past. In Festival of the Lost, we had a Telesto mask, and even released this season was a ship, a sparrow, and a ghost, all themed around this exotic fusion rifle. The Omen of Saturn says, "They say a weapon was made of traces of a Harbinger. They say it can break anything." And Queen's Best says, "Of Saturn's moons, the Queen of the Reef favored one above the rest." So the ship there is just referencing a moon of Saturn called Telesto, and the sparrow also likely the exotic, saying it could break anything, and it's made from traces of a Harbinger, which may explain why it fires like this. In-game, the Dreaming City has many references to these Harbingers and Awoken history. In the Spine of Caries, one of the first areas you visit in the Dreaming City, the Techians would summon the Harbingers here to speak. There's also a location called Harbinger Seclude, which many thought may have had to do with this Telesto secret, but as the Twitter account stated, there is no puzzle. Regardless though, this area has great history. Statues of the Awoken Queens, Alice Lee, Ahamkara encounters and skulls that can be found at the bottom, and even a memorial planted by Mara Sov for Sir Ido long ago. So do you think the Telesto bolts are trying to tell us something further, and is it connected to the Queen's last Harbinger? Most likely not in my opinion, but it's fun to look at all this stuff. The weapon itself does have ties to the Awoken, which makes you wonder. Remember in the past, even some of Mara's Techians would question her choices about these super weapons, saying, "Sidia, do you not have faith in our Queen?" So kinda crazy. Anyway Guardians, it's all we got for today's video. If you'd like to see some other Destiny lore and mysteries just like this one, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.